Thanks, Max. And thank you all for joining me in this discussion today. The objective of my talk is to talk a little bit about industrial automation. Is to talk about what industrial automation and emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning is. Talk about what they are not, and talk about their role within the future of work within distribution and transportation industries. So, just to provide you with a little more background of myself, I am Justin Goldston. I am a professor of project and supply chain management at Penn State University. I have worked with a number of institutions in developing programs such as in the areas of supply chain management, operations management, industrial automation. And I work with the government within the United States to use emerging technologies to do what the goal is to democratize technology. Given that I primarily work with small and medium distributors, some of those distributors do not have the capital, they do not have the resources to implement or adopt these emerging technologies. So we are looking to assist organizations in developing these technologies so that they're available for everyone. So I'm also doing research and working with other governments to say how is this transferable to other countries? How is this transferable to the APAC region? So the goal is to democratize technology and to provide these emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, and blockchain to distributors around the world. So as we go into these technologies, as we enter into the rise of the machines, as I call it, there was a study that was put out in early 2020, pre-COVID, and it asked a number of respondents, what technological initiatives are you looking to adopt in 2020? And it was the highest noted area was IT automation, followed by artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. This does include the transportation industry. That also includes the distribution industry. So yes, these solutions are different offerings. Yes, they are different solutions. Yes, they provide different assistance within an organization, but in combining all of these solutions, we get to what I refer to as integrated intelligent automation. So on the surface on this PowerPoint, you see AI and you think of artificial intelligence. Now, AI as it stands in the current state is augmented intelligence. Artificial intelligence, we are years away from true artificial intelligence where machines are going to make the decisions on their own. And that's why we are currently in the state of augmented intelligence. We're going to use artificial intelligence to assist us in our daily operations, in our daily processes. We are going to use sensors to assist us in letting us know and alerting us of when particular processes should be acted upon. We're going to depend on machine learning. We're going to depend on deep learning to assist us in performing our daily tasks. So that is the objective of today's discussion. And how is this applicable to the distribution and transportation industry? And to also say, how is it going to benefit the workforce within these particular industries? So as we start at the lowest level, so there is essentially a maturity to this. There is a maturity, if you will, to this, and it begins with business process automation. So some of you may already have some level of business process automation within your organization. So if you have workflows within your WMS applications or your TMS applications or your ERP systems, that is a form of business process automation. If you are able to map and automatically send out invoices, if you're able to map and automatically send out purchasing approvals under a particular threshold, that is considered business process automation. And so business process automation is what I would refer to as the lowest level of automation, in that you kind of set up scripts, you set up what we refer to as workflows to say, okay, once A happens and it's below this particular criteria, perform this process. And business process automation is very helpful for those repetitive processes within distribution and logistics. So business process automation can provide organizations with a lot of benefits, in that it can reduce the amount of errors within a facility. It can improve the flexibility and the scalability within an organization. And most importantly, from a people perspective, it takes those individuals that usually perform those daily tasks to transition to more meaningful, more valuable, more innovative tasks. So it's going to empower those employees. Some of the examples from an Amazon's perspective is the auto scanning, of boxes in a distribution center, the put away of products within a distribution center, the sorting of products within a distribution center. So again, it's those repetitive tasks that humans used to do. Now it can also be augmented, where the robotics can do the sorting for the heavy products. The robotics can do the scanning of the products that are higher on in a particular area. So again, it can be that augmented intelligence. So again, that's one process, and one use case is what Amazon's doing from a business process automation perspective. Now, I know I did talk about robots and robotic process, but the difference between business process automation and robotic process automation is that robotic process automation will provide you with more advanced tasks. It's going to introduce you to machine learning. It's going to have that lower level artificial intelligence that come into play, where there is going to have to be some kind of decisions that take place in order for that robot to perform that task or activity. So some examples of robotic process automation within the industry is drones. Drones. So the implementation of drones have increased within the industry. Walmart has adopted drones within their distribution centers, where the drones can receive a feed from the enterprise resource planning application, and they can go perform cycle counts. And again, this is going to benefit Walmart. Is going to benefit the workforce, in that now we're creating safer work environments in our distribution centers. Okay. Now we don't have individuals going up 50 feet on cherry pickers to perform cycle counts, to perform physical inventories. Okay. Also, robotic process automation within Walmart's case is we have drones for deliveries. Amazon has also began to pilot from a logistics perspective for deliveries, and drones for deliveries and things like that. Also, Walmart has began to to use products to move inventory. So for pallet moving, for pallet picking, they began to adopt robotic process automation to perform those tasks. I know that during the pandemic, this robotic process automation was somewhat accelerated within organizations around, within distribution centers around the world, because our DCs were shut down. And organizations began to adopt this robotic process automation. They seen the benefits to this robotic process automation. And again, I think that there's going to be some adoption along with their normal employees. So again, it's that augmented intelligence. These robots are working alongside the workforce. Next, we have process intelligence. So process intelligence is one thing that has emerged at the beginning of 2020. And process intelligence is essentially where I'm going to use artificial intelligence, for example, and I'm going to collect the data. And I have established processes within my ERP application, but process intelligence will look at the outliers. It will look at the discrepancies, and it will either perform those adjustments from a process perspective, or it's going to alert you to say, oh, this process is documented this way, but it was processed this way 70% of the time. So artificial intelligence, again, is tracking that information. It has algorithms built in to identify any kind of differences and alert the decision maker on those differences. And then if that decision maker does accept those adjustments, now the process changes. Now, process intelligence is very important as the baby boomers began to leave the distribution industry. As the baby boomers began to leave the transportation industry, this process intelligence can begin to build out those processes automatically within your ERP application. And now that becomes your training manual for your new employees. Carrefour has began to use AI for process intelligence to track those processes within those organizations, and that way they're able to again establish those processes, create training documentation, create their own kind of videos or education. So you can essentially create classes with this process intelligence tool, where that can be a part of the employee's onboarding. And again, that process can be tracked by this tool, by this PI tool. And that is how you establish processes within your organization, as that is a gap within distribution organizations as well as transportation organizations, is a lack of documented processes. Now, process intelligence will do it for you. Now, process intelligence actually establishes that true process. So within, as we're wrapping up, there's also additional use cases for intelligent integrated automation within the transportation industry, where there's organizations called LoadTap that are creating, they are looking for they're using predictive analytics and machine learning to identify or predict capacity matches based on the truck's route. Also, they're looking at predictive analytics to identify lane analysis for trucks. So if I do have third-party carriers, if I do have preferred routes for those carriers, then I can input those preferred routes within my LoadTap tool, and I can predict or I can suggest a proposed route for that provider. I can propose a route for a new employee, if he provides me with that input of data. And again, that's coming from machine learning, that's coming from artificial intelligence, in that I have the data, I've collected that data, and I'm analyzing those inputs to provide a proposed route for that particular trucker based on his recommendations, or based on his suggestions. So As we said, we have the rise of the machines, and the rise of the machines are actually determining the future of work. I would say that the future of work is bright for employees, because there's a big misconception in that a lot of employees believe that these emerging technologies are going to take jobs away. I think that they're going to enrich jobs. They are going to empower those employees, and I think that there's going to be tremendous benefits to these technologies. I've also had feedback to say, oh well, it's going to be Big Brother. No, it's not. It's a preventative tool. So if these employees are working in risky environments, in high temperature environments, for example, we can have these wearable technologies to be proactive if that individual's temperature is getting too high, for example. We can have these wearables to say, okay, this person is approaching their break time and things like that. So we are developing these technologies, these wearables, to at the benefit for the benefit of the employee. We're creating safer work environments with these technologies. Some of the tools that are used from a employee perspective is, if I'm out in the distribution center or if I'm out in the trucking industry and I have a question, there's an expert on call option that's automated. We have that in the Internet of Things that is emerging in the transportation industry as well as in the distribution industry. One of my most favorite is the video assist. So we have what we refer to as augmented reality, where someone that is reaching retirement age, for example, they can go through their daily processes within a distribution center and they can record it within Google Glass, for example. And now that's creating a training video for new employees. Okay. So they just hit record and they're going through the processes. They're explaining the processes, and now that's essentially creating documentation, and that's through these IoT technologies. So that's another example where these technologies are very beneficial. And I would say that the key takeaways for this discussion is that we have to understand that we are currently in the time of augmented intelligence. This is not the time of augmented intelligence, or this is not the time of artificial intelligence. And this is the time where we need to explain to the workforce that these tools are here to assist you. These tools are here to make your job easier. These tools are here to make your life safer, within the work environment. Now, in order for these to be effectively implemented, it begins with the leadership. Leadership has to get buy-in for any initiative such as this. We have to explain the why. We have to explain, why are we adopting these emerging technologies? And we have to implement shared leadership. So going back to the augmented reality, when that individual that is reaching his retirement, we have to depend on him because he has the knowledge. The leaders of the organization do not have the knowledge to perform those daily tasks. It's the individuals that perform those daily tasks. It's the individuals that are in the trenches every single day. So we have to implement a shared leadership approach in order to get buy-in for the workforce to adopt these technologies. So thank you for your time, and I can be contacted on LinkedIn, or I can be reached at jlg566@psu.edu. I look forward to collaborating with you all in the future, and have a great conference.